Or just DM me and I will get back to you.
Yeah, just dungeon master her. So Solar Opposites was a bucket of fun.
Solar Opposites was weird and squirty.
Solar Opposites was not Rick and Morty.
Very good. I hope
True,
you guys.
very true.
I hope you guys got my joke. Bucket of fun bucket. I don't know. Hey, everybody, welcome to. Oh, you did. It wasn't very good then. Welcome to Falling Towers. Watch the First podcast, the podcast in which we watch the first episode of a series, and then we talk about it. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon. Michael likes to say, elbow that bell icon, like the Dusty Rhodes elbow.
Punch that bell icon in the face.
Teach it a lesson. And if you want us to review a show, a first episode of a show, just in the comments below, say WTF Frasier or WTF Friends, because that's Watch the First. And we will start today by telling you this is Michael Kenyon Rosenberg, comedian and fun guy.
I'm not a mushroom.
We are also joined by Krystle Starr, cosplayer, actress, superstar.
Hi.
My name is Ryan T. Husk. I make people feel awkward.
You're the best at that, though.
Thank you. I
Take some pride.
So the first episode of Solar Opposites is called The Matter Transfer Array. And this was created by the co-creators of Rick and Morty. So let's start off by saying, that being said, Michael Kenyon Rosenberg, what did you expect coming into this before you watched it?
I had no expectations because I actually haven't seen Rick and Morty. I know that that's a shock to a lot of people, Krystle included.
What? I didn't even. How is this a possible?
I think I've seen some of one episode. I mean, I know it's like Back to the Future kind of thing, but Rick, Doc, and Marty. And
I'm feeling physical pain right now.
Yeah, I do that to people a lot.
That's what you do. I make people feel awkward. You make people feel.
I give people a physical pain. Yeah, that's what I'm great at. So I had no expectations coming into this show at all.
Not at all. I mean, you knew it was going to be funny and sci-fi related.
I knew it was going to be animated.
Okay. Krystle, what did you've seen Rick and Morty? You're an avid watcher of sci-fi things. What did you think of this?
So I went into it with the exact opposite. I wish I had no expectations. I think it would have been better. But I did go in, I was hoping for something totally different than what I got, which is not bad. Just I was had something else in mind. But yeah, it was definitely interesting. I'll use that word for now.
What were you hoping to get?
Well, when I saw the trailer for this, and when I know that when I found out that it got the green light almost 2 years ago, I thought that it would be a lot more like Rick and Morty. And the first couple of seconds watching it and really looking closely at the animations, they use like the Rick and Morty eyeballs with a little puffy pupil and the same mouths and everything. So the animation was very, very similar to Rick and Morty. And even the voices of, what is it? Cubolk or what was the main character's name?
Corgo or Corfo or something.
Corvo?
Corvo.
So Corvo's voice, he is voiced by the same guy as Rick.
Right. Justin Roiland.
Yes, Justin. And I feel like at points they're just too similar, and I really wish they had made them way different. It's I don't know. So yeah,
I get you. I got those. I can echo a lot of those sentiments. Actually, I was working at Rick and Morty when this thing was being pitched. I don't know what I can or can't say. I'm like, this thing is public now, so I guess I can say that, right? I mean, it's not like a secret anymore, right? I don't know, but I still don't know. I signed some papers, so I'm too scared to say anything. But
careful.
I know, and it was. You're right. Maybe about 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was actually supposed to be released. Like it should have aired 2 years ago, but then everything kind of fell through. And so we had just kind of been waiting for 2 full years, and finally Hulu picked it up for not 1 season, but 2 seasons.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
So they're definitely there already is a second season in the works. So that's good if you liked it, and whatever if you didn't.
Yeah. So what I expected was, I expected more of the same. I expected it to have the same kind of voice as Rick and Morty. And, you know, so I really wasn't surprised by it, because the first thing you hear is Justin Roiland's voice. And so you immediately go, oh, that's Rick. That's Rick's voice. And he also does Morty. He does Rick and Morty.
Well, maybe you did.
Yeah. So, but anybody that watches it that's seen Rick and Morty, they're going to be like, hey, there's Rick. You know, you get it right away, and the voices are very similar. The writing was pretty similar, although I will say it seemed less filthy than Rick and Morty. Still weird and gross in its own way, but it was about what I expected, I'd say.
Yeah, I thought that it was way more violent than Rick and Morty. I think Rick and Morty get kind of like weird, and they do like a lot of like weird other things, but the violence level for this one was way more than I was expecting, and it's a lot for me. It's a lot. I think that, you know, since Pickle Rick was the like one of the best episodes of Rick and Morty, and that
so
one has
good.
Yeah, it and I love Pickle Rick.
Can you give us a Pickle Rick impression, please?
I'm Pickle Rick. Yeah, I love.
Beautiful.
But I think that they saw I feel like they maybe thought the correlation from that being so popular was the gore. So we are seeing tons of gore in the first episode of Solar Opposites, and I don't know how I feel about it.
Right. So before we get too deep into how we feel about it, Michael, you got a synopsis for us, maybe?
Yeah, I do. They kind of give us the synopsis like in the episode. Like I guess like the Corvo guy gives this little voiceover. He says, Planet Schlorp was the perfect utopia until an asteroid hit. 100 adults and their replicants were issued a pupa and escaped into space, searching for new homes on uninhabited worlds. We crashed on Earth, stranding up on an already overpopulated planet.
Nice. I also like that you called the pupa a poopa. It makes it
Me too.
Sounds funnier. By the way, we forgot to mention that in Watch the First, we watch the first episode so that you don't have to. You can watch us and decide. Because here's the thing, guys, is like we generally watch the first episode of a show to decide if we want to watch a whole series, right? To decide, do I have the time and the will to watch this whole series? But what if you don't have the time to watch the first episode even? Well, we're going to watch the first episode, so you don't even have to watch that first episode now.
You can just watch us.
Yeah, which
instead of watching a half-hour show, watch an hour podcast
for twice as long. Yeah, it makes perfect sense to me.
I thought so too. So
anyway, so we talked about what we expected. What did we get? We'll start with Michael. What did we get?
We got a show.
Okay.
On television, a streaming service, Hulu. So it's not on television proper, which is kind of what allows them to get away with all these swears, I guess.
Ooh. How did you said swears as if swears was a bad word itself?
I just, for me personally, I think that they kind of overdid it with the swear words. I remember one of you guys said that there's more swears in Rick and Morty.
Violence, I think she said.
Violence, and yeah.
So yeah, I think the swear words in this show kind of took me out of it a little bit.
What?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I agree. I am so with you. But I'm also
nice. Finally.
I'm definitely like I'm kind of like that with all shows. If it's not really necessary, it kills the entire show for me. Like even Star Trek, I know we're not talking about that, but that it totally took me out. And same with this. I don't mind and I don't know, like when Rick does it on Rick and Morty, it's very different. And I'm sorry that I keep comparing the two shows, but I kind of
it's natural.
I think it's hard to if you've seen Rick and Morty, but I haven't. So
well, and so like I'm expecting that level of potty mouth and kind of like, and this is gonna piss off a lot of people,
Nice.
But I feel like like this show was really kind of written by and for people who didn't have the proper upbringing by their mothers, and like and I'm a huge Rick and Morty fan. Like I love Rick and Morty. And what's interesting, so after saying that, if you notice, the cast is very similar to Rick and Morty's as well, except they don't have a mom. They don't need to have a mom because
they're a gay couple, it seems. Yeah.
Well, they just replicate, I think, is what it is.
Well, also they were kind of like an in the closet gay couple or something, where he's like, well, we're just friends that hold hands. Remember, he was kind of making that joke. So
yeah, and we don't know if they're actually family members or not. I would assume maybe not family members. I think they said that they were given the baby. I don't think
the poopa.
The poopa. Kidding. So I thought that was really interesting. At the very tail end of the episode, they also kind of go into like this baby has like a much deeper meaning.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
About the baby, I could not help but think of The Simpsons, and the baby is Maggie Simpson. Like the way that it moves around, the sluggish, the kind of, not caring about the baby. The baby's always eating stuff and you're not really sure why it's eating it, or it should or shouldn't be eating it. It's eating like the weird tear things that they have, whatever.
Yeah, what are they called? Googlers.
Googlers. Google something. Yeah, you made me Google again.
Yeah, they're squirting out purple pus, right? Like.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't call it that. They're like living. It's almost like fleas or something.
Living tears, kind of.
From their head, it's very bizarre. It's very bizarre. But yeah, what I do like is that so far, I'm trying to keep it to episode 1. They're from planet Slurp, and they kind of like Superman off that planet, and I feel like they just kind of got paired together. So I don't think they're his kids. I think they're just kind of like they're just in the ship together.
Well, they call them replicants. So yeah, replicants. I want to say that they're probably replicants of Corvo and Terry.
Are they? Or are they just like random? I don't know. Do they have a machine that does it? I feel like
they've got like that weird what is that one machine that they made Fun Bucket with?
Oh yeah. I'm still sad you guys didn't get my bucket of fun joke.
The quantum injector.
After.
All you have to do is explain it to us, Ryan, and then we got it.
And I did a no-no. I did a no-no with this show. So I definitely watched more than episode 1, because when I got finished with episode 1, I was not feeling it whatsoever. I did not care to go forward, and I was like really mad that I wasted time watching it.
See, that was probably our fault.
It's okay.
Would you have watched it had we not done this show? Would you have watched it of your own volition?
No.
Okay.
No, I've seen it on the Hulu homepage every day this week, or for the past 2 days. Quarantine's got me kind of confused. But I honestly saw the artwork, and to me, it was kind of like when Family Guy did American Dad, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. So honestly, I wouldn't have, but I watched episode 1, which we are going to talk about a lot more, but I did not like it. I actually watched episode 1 3 times today. I watched it.
Wow. Okay. Before you get into the next thing you were going to say, which of the 3 times you watched it was your favorite?
The last time.
Nice. So it gets better with age.
Well, yes, actually, because I watched the first episode and I was like, this is so stupid. But then I started thinking about Rick and Morty when I first watched the first episode of Rick and Morty. I was way more hooked with Rick and Morty because of the psychedelic colors that they used and just like space travel to another planet and the weird, bizarre, and like crazy stuff that they did, like Rick wanting to put those seeds up Morty's rectum to get them through customs. Like, what?
Hey, spoilers! I still haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, no, Yeah,
Man,
we'll do that another time.
That came out in 2014.
I only watched it 2 years ago too, and that was only because I was working there, so I kind of felt like I should.
You probably should
start
have,
watching at least a couple episodes. But I was pleasantly surprised.
Watched it 3 times, and so
but this
I watched the first. Krystle will watch the show 3 times, so you don't have to watch it.
Well, I'm glad I did because I watched it this morning for the first time. So I've watched it 3 times in a day. And I immediately called my friends and I was like, does this show suck or is it just me? Like,
I love how much research you put into it. Like, you watched it 3 times, you phoned a friend. I'm sure you have legions of notes.
I do. And not only did I watch episode 1, I actually got through episode 6.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I spent pretty much every waking hour with the show today. And if we had done the podcast and only watched episode 1, I would tell everyone and their mom, this is a waste of time. It's totally stupid. I'm not for it. It's a crappy knockoff of Rick and Morty.
You can say shitty.
Well, thank you. I shouldn't. But after kind of watching more, it did make more sense. So with that being said, I am not a huge fan of the show, but I am going to finish the series because there's only 8 episodes and it does get better. So with that being said,
so before let's not
y'all's favorite parts of the episode.
Yeah, let's not get too far into that. That's how we close the show. So,
well,
but I do want to say in the comments below, guys,
we're gonna call it a night.
Yeah, this is very important. In the comments below, guys, let us know if Krystle cussing took you out of the show.
Yeah.
Let us know if that just took you out of it. Took you out of this podcast. Did we cover enough of that cussing thing, Mike? I thought that was pretty much it. You said you didn't like. I was fine with it. I thought it was like. I feel like they cuss in Rick and Morty too, right?
My biggest complaint, I didn't care so much about the kids cussing or if the parents cussed at all, but the teacher
cussing to the kids. It's not cool. Not cool.
The teacher comes up and she's just like, what are you fucking aliens or some shit like that. Like,
and the teacher was like, get the fuck out. Like the male teacher. And then they like wound up having like sex on the desk.
Okay. Right. That principal was golden when he's just like talking like blah, blah, blah. And then he goes, now get the fuck out of here. Like, that's so weird. Like that I don't care. I loved it. I thought that was funny because it was weird and it was dumb and it made no sense and it was obnoxious. And I was like, cool.
Oh,
I get it.
You're the target audience for this.
You
someone who likes
maybe.
You like terrible TV.
Maybe. I mean, yeah. Compared to Rick and Morty. Compared to Rick and Morty, it's not there.
Yes.
It's certainly. I mean, just from what I've seen, it's not there. It's not quite as good at. But since I have seen a lot of Rick and Morty, all of it. At least first 3 seasons, I know, don't necessarily write it off. It's kind of like watching the first episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation saying, this show's never going to get any good, But anyway.
I never said
that ever. Sorry, what were you saying, Michael?
I was just saying, like the teacher, what she said was, you filthy fucking alien. Like, no, that really pulled me out for sure. I mean, I can understand kids cursing. I mean, I was cursing when I was a kid, and adults cursing, I'm fine with that. But like a teacher cursing, not only cursing, but calling them filthy fucking aliens.
Right. That's the point, is that these teachers are clearly inappropriate. They're bad, shitty people. And I think that's what they're saying is like, hey, check out how shitty these teachers are and principals are. How terrible people treat them, from the bully to the teacher to the principal. Even the janitor was kind of rude to them in a nicer way.
Yeah. And that is the point of the show, sadly. Yeah. It is the whole point of this entire series is to it's kind of like the Rick and Morty story again. Like Rick was this kind of stranger in a strange land, in his own land. Right. And now instead of it being like Rick being smarter than the rest of humanity, but as also a human, now they went a step further with this show and they wanted to showcase like these aliens come in and see how incredibly stupid the human population is. And that's kind of the premise for like the entire show. So, having the bad teachers, having just bad humans in general, when this is what the show is showcasing. So why don't we talk about Bingo Bango Bongo and in the let's. You want to talk about what you guys thought about him?
Who is that?
Bucket.
Fun Bucket. What was his name?
Fun Bucket.
No, Fun Bucket was the name of the show. Was his name Fun Bucket?
Yeah. Okay. Which, by the way, I had to go back and make sure I heard that right, because I was like, whoa, this show's really getting crass. But no, it was Fun Bucket.
What did you think it was?
I'm not going to say.
Stockings.
Okay, wait, hang on a second. Let's take a look at that. There it is.
Tad stockings.
Tad stockings.
Tad stockings.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't really get it. They were watching some crass TV show. So and that was crass too. See, the whole thing is just how inappropriate and crass everything is in the world.
Well, the TV show was really interesting to me because he's an alien on this strange planet having to deal with all of these dumb humans essentially in the TV show that they are watching, and they are living that life. And so that's why they fall in love with Fun Bucket, and they were like, oh my God, he must be real, like Frasier and Friends. And
Frasier's not real, I swear to God.
Yeah, that was great. I'll kill myself.
Yeah, which is funny because I've actually been watching a lot of Frasier and Friends during quarantine.
No way.
Oh way. Yeah, definitely. And King of the Hill. It's been a very odd mix. Going to the 90s sitcoms to save my life.
Yeah.
There it is. So he says, Fun Bucket isn't real. Yes, he is. We watched him on TV. TV lied to us. Are submarines real? Are penguins real? Are friends real? Is Frasier real? Anyway, that was funny that they're like, are submarines even real?
So yeah, I thought that was really interesting because they base their entire knowledge, because keep in mind, like they've only been here for a year on the planet, essentially.
Right.
And it looks like they've kind of like they've been living in the house for the most part, and they're just now kind of starting to come out and see the world. And this is where they're learning all their information. So Fun Bucket must be real. And when they find out that he's not real, it really, really devastates them to where they have, they make their own Fun Bucket. And then you get to meet the dude bros who steal Fun Bucket away.
Okay, so, did we love or hate the dude bros?
We hate the dude bros, just like in real life.
I heard two answers at the same time. Krystle, you said you what?
I said we hate the dude bros just like we do in real life.
And I think Michael just said hate.
I just hate them, yeah. At first I thought they were gay, and I was like, all right, cool, okay, cool. I can see a gay couple, but then they're like dude bros, and I was like, oh, that's fucking lame.
I think they're gay dude bros because they take Fun Bucket back at the end, and they don't care. Like they don't care what kind of shape he's in. They just need to have some Fun Bucket.
What? Okay, am I the only one, by the way, when they were going to
finish it?
When they were going to throw away garbage Fun Bucket, when he was just garbage leftovers, and they were going to toss him onto a mall from far away, which was cute. And then the dude bros show up in a helicopter, of course. Why wouldn't they
get a helicopter?
I mean, am I the only one that
completely unrealistic?
Am I the only one that thought that he was going to throw him and then throw him too hard and he was going to get chopped up in the helicopter blades?
I was hoping for that also, and I was let down.
Yeah, they just caught him and lived happily ever after.
Yeah, but then the children's hospital exploded, which apparently was funny.
But then also, Fun Bucket has acid drool, but then he drools on the guy's shirt and he's fine.
And nothing happened. So many plot holes.
Yeah, really.
That's inconsistent.
How do they expect us to believe that aliens are real?
Michael, did you have a favorite character in this first episode?
I think I hate them all.
This first episode, by the way, of Solar Opposites.
Wait.
No, you've got a favorite.
Wait, can I ask Michael something? Michael, do we do this at the end? Do we rate the show?
Yes.
Yeah.
So don't do that yet.
Correct.
Oh no, right, yeah.
You're going for way too much extra credit already today.
I'm like,
You're like skipping to the. You're like you just want to pass the test. Let's take our time and talk about our favorite one.
If I had to choose one, and strictly based on the actor who plays this character, I would say Terry, because played by Thomas Middleditch, he's the main character in Silicon Valley on HBO.
Thomas what?
Middleditch.
Oh, okay. God, I am just hearing the worst things out of people nowadays.
Ryan.
It's because of the shows you watch, like Solar Opposites.
You love this show, and so it's warping your mind.
Yeah. So is that's like the other adult, the non-Rick adult? Okay.
Yeah, the Morty adult.
The adult without the weird name.
Yeah.
Without the weird name.
Terry, I guess his name is?
Yeah, Terry. Yeah.
Who's your favorite? Based on the first episode only, Krystle.
Jesse. I am so feeling some Jesse right now. I feel like Jesse and Yumulak. Sorry.
Who's Jesse?
Jesse is the girl.
Okay.
The only girl. So Jesse and Yumulak, I feel like their dynamic is very very Simpsons, like very Lisa and Bart Simpson. And I really, really like Jesse. I feel like Jesse is just kind of like the most sane out of all of them so far. And I feel like she really wants to do good and make others happy. And I feel like she's going to be probably my favorite out of them. Either Jesse or that weird baby character, but I haven't seen enough of the show to judge about the baby character yet. But definitely so far, yeah. Jessie. I'm going to go with Jessie, hands down. She's hilarious. And the little bow that they put on her head to show that she's a girl, like, I don't know what about it, just it made me, like, laugh so hard. Yeah, she's got a little bow. No, the one behind her head. Keep going. Yeah, she's got the pink outfit on.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? Okay. She's got a little bow.
She's so cute and pretty, yeah.
Oh, she's so cute.
I think based on that first episode, I mean, I want to like the Rick character the most. I mean, that's going to probably end up being my favorite just because I like Rick and I can see that he's similar to that. But the one
he's not. He's kind of stupid, and Rick was a genius.
So I think my favorite would be right now the principal, sorry to say.
Oh, my God. You love what we both hate.
Kind of like in the first episode, I think it's the first episode of Rick and Morty, Michael, plug your ears. But like the teacher, when he's touching the teacher's chest and he goes, in about 10 minutes, I'm going to get real mad about this. Or something.
In 5 minutes, I'm going to get real mad about this. But right now, I'm just going to let it happen.
Yeah, it's so inappropriate and terrible. It's just funny.
He's in Big Mouth. The voice from that guy is in Big Mouth as well. Have you watched Big Mouth?
No.
Oh, you guys should do that one next.
Really?
It's got a lot of cussing, though. It is foul, but like it's not super gory. It's super disgusting and dirty. But I love it.
Should be called Foul Mouth.
What? I don't mind cursing if it's motivated, but then it's just like this seems like this.
Oh, then you'll love Big Mouth. Well, I don't know if you'll love it. I don't know you that well yet, Michael, but
yeah. Get to know me.
So another one of my favorite things that happened in this episode were the T-shirts worn by Terry. Terry, the Dick Wolf T-shirt. Dick Wolf,
yeah.
I love that
one. Dick Wolf is the producer of Law and Order.
Dun, dun. That was
I didn't know that.
And what's hilarious is that this whole quarantine, I watched 3 solid weeks of Law and Order. Frasier, Friends, and King of the Hill. And so this episode, I was like, this is my quarantine, like in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Which
you watched it 3 times to really live that.
Sold you on it, and so you're like, I better watch this a couple more times. Just.
But there were also like a bunch of really like, there are a lot of dumb things throughout the show. It is kind of like a dumb show. Like that is what it is. But like the machine that he's got in the very opening scene where he digs down to the middle of the earth and it just like disintegrates and like he just leaves it there. Like what happened to it? Like where did it go?
Yeah, like it destroyed Big Ben and like all the stuff around the world. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. In the Great Wall of China, he lost his legs and then I didn't know what was going to happen. Then we see that they grow them back, and that was cool. I like that.
Very
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Here's something. Let's talk about cool lines that we did. I feel like we're shitting on this a little too much right now. Let's talk about if there were any good lines. Like, I'll go first, for example. I'm trying to help you, Justin. Like, I thought it was, okay, first of all, every compliment's going to have to come with a caveat, which was, okay, so the girl's getting her head lobotomized and they're pouring Diet Coke and they're didn't really do anything for me. But there was a line in there that I did think was funny, which is he says, oh, this would have gone a lot faster with Mountain Dew. And that's...
Oh my God, I died with that.
Yeah, that's clever. That's funny. I liked it. I thought that was good. This would be going a lot faster if we had some Mountain Dew, is what he says.
Well, I think for me, the one good line, I don't know if that's my favorite line, but one good line is, when they pour the Diet Coke on her head, and then like, oh man, this is really making her stupid. Can you believe humans drink this stuff?
I'm a sunflower. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that your favorite line, Krystle? The sunflower line?
Hands down, the best thing from this episode that I will be repeating over and over and over again is bingo, bango, bongo. I love that. I feel like it was on Rick and Morty somewhere as well. I just can't, maybe it wasn't. But that to me was just like, and I'm Googling like the tears and the bingo, bango, bongo. Like, I will definitely probably be intoxicated at one point and say that often. Like that for me is my pickle Rick.
Nice.
Pickle Rick. Bisque?
Say it again, Michael.
Y'all ready for bisque? That was the what was this?
I don't remember that line.
Fun Bucket 2, his catchphrase.
Right.
Y'all ready for bisque?
Oh yeah, that was so weird.
Yeah.
But then Fun Bucket 2, like as soon as they merged, I just got so turned off by the gore. So if the show continues to be that gory throughout, I'm probably not gonna watch it.
So when the two of them merged, that was the one time that actually got a chuckle out of me.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh, that's pretty funny.
You know, I'm gonna guess out of the four versions of Fun Bucket, we had Fun Bucket 1, 2, the amalgamation of the two, and then the leftover tiny Fun Bucket, right?
Trash Fun Bucket.
I'm going to guess that Krystle's favorite of those four was Fun Bucket 1. And I'm going to guess that Michael's favorite version of those four was... I think Fun Bucket 1 still.
He just said he liked when they came together. So
I know, but that's why I said, but I'm still going to stick with my...
I thought it was funny when they came together, but I mean, he turned into a huge like roaming monster that like had drool, like acid for drool. But yeah, number 4 was kind of cool.
Yeah, 4 was kind of cute. He was
it was ugly cute.
He was like a zombie Ewok.
Damn, I was feeling confident.
Yeah,
you should always feel confident.
I liked Fun Bucket maybe like 1.2. The dude wearing the outfit at the mall.
Oh yeah.
I just thought that was so interesting and so funny. And they're like, it's a kid show. And they're like looking around at all the merch and the kids crying. And they're like, damn it. Like, yeah, I thought that was very clever. So like, and for me, I got nervous when they were watching Fun Bucket on the TV because for Rick and Morty, my least favorite parts of Rick and Morty were...
Oh, no, it's fun. We like the whatever it is, the cable TV thing that they do.
No, it's my least favorite part of Rick and Morty. I always feel like I get sucked out of the story and like I'm like the sci-fi kid in me like loves the stories behind Rick and Morty. Like they're actually pretty good. But then you have the stupid like the space cable. And the space cable stuff is just so dumb to me. And it always, like, I would love Rick and Morty to strip that out. And I feel like this had a lot of that going on. And I was like, no, my least favorite parts.
So one of you loves it, one of you hates it, and I have no opinion. So
Right. So I guess you have to keep it because we the council of three can't come to a consensus.
I also loved his other shirt, the tuxedo shirt. I'm hoping that he like has different shirts every episode.
Or when they dressed up as the two douches. Remember
Yes.
They dressed up as the double douche team.
We always dress like this. Yeah. And he actually wore four outfits in this first episode, at least, because he wore the Fun Bucket t-shirt to go meet Fun Bucket.
right.
So that has already got me. I like that because I'm really like, I like different outfits, you know, and I think they even talk about that in this episode. Like, humans are so weird. Like, they're always wearing different clothes. And for me to see, you know, normally we have like Morty always wearing the yellow and the brown pants, like forever. And I'm hoping that his t-shirt continues to change every episode, because that would be a super fun, nerdy thing for me to kind of, I would watch to see like what his next t-shirt would be, personally.
Yeah, kind of like the chalkboard on Bob's Burgers, or like Jonah's hat in 30 Rock.
Mm.
You never saw either of those, Ryan?
I didn't see Third Rock from the Sun either, which is what this show reminds me of, in premise at least.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, I'm like, oh, it's like that third Rock from the Sun show that I never watched.
Ryan,
I know. I'm
how
mad
can
at
you
myself.
not have watched that show?
Yeah, that one's a damn good one. And Bob's Burgers was probably my favorite for for a good solid year. I love Bob's Burgers.
And 30 Rock is hilarious.
Yep.
So in 30 Rock, were they a family or were they just four aliens? They were just four aliens that were not a family, right?
Third Rock. I mean, yeah, we always get those. My wife is always like, I always kind of like mix them up on purpose, and she's like, "Stop doing that."
I don't think they were, but I also watched that when I was like a young teenager. So.
No, they were not a family. They were a unit.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I was thinking. Maybe these guys are not a family either. Maybe they're just, like Krystle was saying, they're just four aliens that are put together on this mission.
Right.
And five, and two of them are children that happen to be put on a mission. So I don't know.
Replicants.
Yeah, true. They could be 50 for all we know.
Yeah. Honestly.
Like Baby Yoda.
Another one of my favorite parts of this show was when they shrunk the janitor down, and well, not just the janitor, but the bully,
and they put her in like the mouse.
The Lego. Then we got Lego in the show, which was super awesome. We got Lego not once but twice, in the middle and the end. So I was really, really excited about that, because I have actually built like one of those Lego like mazes for the ball. What do you call those when you put the ball in
a mouse?
No, the turntable.
I know what you're talking about. I just don't know the name. I'm sorry to say.
Tell
us in the comments below, you guys. You Lego nerds. Tell us.
It's not just Lego. Dang it! I actually taught a whole class about this, and now I'm totally blanking. Good job, Krystle!
You're the expert, and you don't even know.
I know. But yeah, that part was really, really fun for me. And I think the very last scene of the show was him in the Lego, like they like
with
made
a rat.
Yeah, and just I was like, ah. So because of the Lego and because of Rick and Morty, I did give the show another go, and I think I will finish this. I will watch all 8 episodes.
Krystle, you're jumping ahead too soon again.
I want to talk about how like I've said so much hate about it. I don't want people to think that like I hated the episode.
So tell us what the moment where you laughed the most, or maybe the only moment where you laughed at all.
Definitely the Mountain Dew part.
Okay.
Like I was like, to me, because I hang out with so many gamers, and the gamer teeth rot is real. Like, yeah. And I'm a huge advocate, like, please do not drink Mountain Dew. It destroys your teeth. It's like meth mouth for your teeth. And so when he was like, would it go faster if you had Mountain Dew? I actually I laughed out loud at that point. I was like, this is true. Mountain Dew is terrible.
She laughed out loud. Michael, did you laugh your ass off?
Never.
Did you roll on the floor laughing?
My ass is still intact.
What line or moment or situation made you laugh the most?
I already said the only part that ever made me even chuckle in this show is when the two fun buckets combine to make a super fun bucket.
What was funny about that?
I don't know. It was just something about it. I was like, oh, that's kind of funny.
Replay. Yeah, I don't know what I guess the Mountain Dew line was the one that and the guy saying, the principal saying, "Now get the fuck out of here." I don't know why.
You like that
I'm
line.
so shocked that was your favorite line, because that was literally both Michael and I both got very turned off at that moment. And for you,
I wasn't even feeling it sexual in any way to the show. So it didn't do one way.
I wasn't feeling sexual in any way to the show?
Yeah. So I didn't get turned on or turned off or anything. I was just like watching it.
The show definitely.
I think you have to explain that joke to us too, Ryan. So.
Yeah, please explain.
No, I'm done.
So I think one of the most interesting lines to me, I won't say it's funny, and I don't think most of the show is funny, but one of the most interesting lines was when they explained the actual mission. The two kids were talking about, what is the mission? Actually, nobody really talks about it, but then they're like, well, when the pupa reaches maturity, it'll evolve into its true form, and then it will destroy and rebuild the planet in the image of the home world using data stored in its DNA.
Yeah, and that was at the very end of the episode. And honestly, that line, I was like, okay, at this moment, I don't know who my favorite character is now. Because like I said, it might end up in the long run being the baby. Does the baby have a name, or do they like
the pupa? They just call.
I think the pupa. Yeah.
Okay. I might very well be very attached to the baby if later down the line. But I thought that
Yoda of this show,
right? The child, the pupa. I like the pupa. I think that's funnier. That's hilarious. Definitely hilarious. But I felt like, and again, I'm like gonna compare it to Rick and Morty again, but the first episode of Rick and Morty, I felt just so much. I got so much more of the character development, and I really knew. I was very aware of it was a family, mom, dad, brother, sister, crazy grandpa who takes them on space adventures. Now, if you were to say, Krystle, what was a show? What was Solar Opposites about?
Right.
I would be like, it's a weird version of Rick and Morty without Rick and Morty. And there's some aliens that crash on this planet, and they're learning about how stupid humans are. And yeah, I
Michael, what would you say this show is about? That was a good subject to bring up there, Krystle.
I'll tell you exactly what it's about. Planet Schlork was the perfect utopia until the asteroid hit.
No, if you were talking to your friend in a conversation, like we just met and we're at a bar, and I'm like, hey, have you seen Solar Opposites? Oh no, I haven't. What's it about, Michael?
I would say it's like animated Third Rock from the Sun with crass humor. Like it's 4 or 5, 4.5 aliens that are on Earth that have been there for at least a year, and they're kind of halfway trying to leave, but also kind of getting used to it. But the kids are getting bullied. I don't know. I thought I was pretty clear on the story.
I would say,
for the most part,
some aliens get stuck on a very filthy Earth.
A toilet humor Earth.
Yeah, and honestly, I had to watch it 3 times to give you that answer. After the first time I watched it, I was like, I don't know what the hell I just watched. Like, what?
It did move pretty quickly. I didn't have to pause it a lot to take notes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Rick and Morty moves faster than the first one, but this is the last time we're ever going to mention Rick and Morty for the rest of this show.
Yes.
Like, no way! I'm going to show you guys this, if this is the end. This is my favorite Rick and Morty pen. It's the Council of Ricks. It's amazing. It's a
I
little
don't know what that is, but okay, it looks pretty cool.
man. You gotta watch Rick and Morty. It's good.
Let
Although
me
you
tell
might
you,
not like it. You might
I
not like
might watch the first Rick and Morty if somebody wrote in the comments, WTF Rick and
Rick
Morty.
and Morty.
it.
Let me tell you, the offices, the Rick and Morty offices, are full of stuff like that, Krystle.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just wall to wall, floor to ceiling, Rick and Morty, everything. Just giant. Some toys are like 12 feet tall.
Wow.
It's just amazing.
Oh, sorry.
It
Did you ever go to the San Diego Comic-Con Rick and Morty theme park in the back?
Mm-mm.
No, that was so badass. It's the Adult Swim carnival that they have at San Diego Comic-Con every year, where they give out like a ton of free prizes and games. And so what made me watch Rick and Morty in the first place, like I guess 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years, whenever it was, a long time ago, half a decade ago, I went and they had a full-size Rick and Morty spacecraft. And they it looked like it just crashed. They had like dirt. Like they had to have like taken a crane or something.
nice.
Oh, it was so cool. But if they hadn't have done that, I don't know. I mean, I think everybody watched Rick and Morty after the Pickle Rick episode. You couldn't really go on the internet without seeing or hearing about that.
I didn't. I saw some memes about it, but I didn't actually go to watch it or anything.
You'll see it someday.
So how long did you work there, Ryan?
Just a matter of weeks. I was just in, and it was in between. It was in the off season. It was between the 3rd and 4th season when they're kind of in that limbo of not being sure if the 4th season was going to happen. And so they're doing this project here, and they were doing another one, which again I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to talk about it because I know that one isn't out yet, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't
do
that stuff. But anyway, it was just all kinds of stuff like that. But I will say that probably the most fun thing though was hearing Justin recording, doing those voices in the other room, because he has a way of like making everything kind of like conversational. You know, like most people are like, are you going to walk the dog? I walked him yesterday. Well, I thought it was your turn. Whereas with him, he doesn't really stick to the script as much. He says things like, are you going to walk, you're going to walk the dog, the dog, you know, the ugly dog, you know, he just kind of makes it so much more conversational. And so hearing him repeat the same lines over and over again, but say them completely differently, you know, like if he's saying you're going to walk the dog, he's just like, you know, walk the dog, that dumb dog that, you know, it's time to walk him, walk, you know, stupid Fido needs a walk, you know, and sometimes they just let him roll like that. Sometimes they take a little piece. I don't know, but that was fun just hearing, because it just sounds like there's somebody just ranting about the same thing over and over again.
Well, he definitely brings that over to Corvo, because when he throws in a lot of uhs and ums and
way more in Rick and Morty, like, or maybe later on in further episodes of this. So that's that's another thing I was expecting, was that kind of style, which was not as prevalent. But anyway, so let's talk about you for a moment, Krystle Starr, shall we?
Sure.
Tell us about Nerd Ninja.
Nerd Ninja is a website that I I work with.
Take two.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about Nerd Ninja.
Okay.
I don't really have a lot to say about Nerd Ninja right now. I'm not doing too much right now with them. But
talk to us about Legos then.
So there's no S in Lego. The plural of Lego is Lego. And I know this because I signed a paper with Lego Masters saying I will never call them Legos again.
Wow.
You just did it.
Yeah, to prove a point.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Good point.
But yeah, so my girlfriend Amy and I got on Lego Masters. We're huge addicts of Lego. I've got an entire room filled to the brim with Lego, and we were lucky enough to compete in this crazy competition for the best Lego Masters. And you can actually find that on Hulu, the same streaming network that Solar Opposites is on. And so if you're watching Solar Opposites, you can definitely check out Lego Masters as well. And
Instead of solar opposites.
probably, yeah, honestly, yeah.
What was your experience like on that show? Was it like fun? Was it stressful?
Both. It was extremely stressful because we have to do some builds. I think we did like 12 hour builds, and
Wow.
we built. I built a cyberpunk city that was taller than me, so I had to get on a little ladder and build on up, which was a lot of fun. I got to build giant robots out of Lego
Wow.
and theme parks out of Lego, dragons and westerns and mysteries and all kinds of really, really amazing things. And we had access to like 3.3 million bricks, which is more than I will ever have at home.
It's actually 3.3 million brick. What were you saying, Mike?
Oh, did they give you any plans, or you just had to like come up with the designs yourself or something?
You're hilarious. Yeah, no internet, no photos, literally nothing. And they gave you a challenge, like build a theme park. So then Amy and I were talking about if we could build any theme park in the world, what would it be? So we built a fairy theme park with magical crystals and banana stands and shark rides and all kinds of crazy things with tree houses. And
That's fun.
oh, it was, I don't think I've been that creative in a really, really, really long time. I think the last time I was that creative was when I was writing my comic book, and which issue 2 is coming out in July, finally.
Hey.
Woo-hoo! So yeah, it's been a long while, but we had to put the comic book on hold while I was doing the show. And I was also working on a lot of other film projects the past year. So quarantine's been great. I have no film work. So no special effects work for me to do. And I still work at the video game company every now and then for like little work, but during quarantine, a lot of that production has kind of been, slowed down a lot. But it's still fun. It still comes in and out, but I have been building Lego 4 days a week on Twitch for the past 6 weeks.
Wow.
And I think it might be my full-time job starting soon.
No way. Really?
Yeah. So I've been probably streaming for about 20 to 25 hours a week, which is crazy. But it's been a lot of fun. We did a huge fundraiser on May the 4th for May the 4th Be With You.
Sure.
And we raised, all said and done, it was $2,014 for the North Texas Food Bank, which was great. I was really, really proud of everyone who came together for that. That was really, really awesome. And I started specialdeeds.com, which is mainly for my adult with special needs. But we also cater to all kinds of special needs. And even through the pandemic, we have been doing one solid, really big project once a month. And I've been really, really, really excited about that. And people from all around the world, France, Italy, Sweden, and a lot of people in London have been sending, and a ton of people from the US have been sending Lego or funds for us to get Lego for our students. And it's just been really, really beautiful to see how wonderful and kind people that I've never met personally, like face to face, have connected with me through the Lego Masters or my Twitch channel or my Instagram. And they feel like helping us do all these really, really, really fun projects. My students are just having, I'm sad that I haven't been able to see them in like almost 2 months because of quarantine. But we are still doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and I'm still working very closely with My Possibilities. My Possibilities, just the students there started a soap shop. So, which is kind of perfect for the pandemic. So they've been selling hand sanitizer, soaps, and bath bombs, which has just been really, really great. And if you, follow my Instagram channel, I will definitely be talking a lot more about that soon because they've got a lot of stuff coming out for that.
Tell us your Instagram channel and where people can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram or Twitch at Krystle Star Wars. And my name's spelled very weird. It's Krystle, Star, Starwars. I've got 2 R's in my last name. And I pretty much live on Twitch and Instagram.
We will include those links in the description box below. Is there any other kind of website or anything you want people to check out? Any other social media?
Yeah, you can check out Special Deeds. I am no webmaster designer, but I have we started specialdeeds.com, so it's getting there. It's getting there, but yeah, that's where if you want to help out with any of that stuff, specialdeeds.com, or just DM me and I will get back to you.
Yeah, just dungeon master her. So anyway, that's awesome. We'll put all that stuff in the description box below for everybody. If we missed something, let us know in the comments below and we'll add it, guys. Now it's time for something that Michael likes to call the terrible twos.
I don't like to call it that, but you like to make me call it that.
Yeah, Michael likes to call them the terrible twos. And it's 2 terrible questions, starting with scale of 1 to 10, Michael. What would you give episode 1 of Solar Opposites, quote, the matter transfer array? Oh, I think that's what they build a bucket of fun out of. Maybe that was right. The matter transfer array.
Right, it was. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. The quantum injector, primarily used for repairing organic emitters in the matter transfer array. 1 to 10, you guys are gonna hate me, but I would say a 2.
Wow. I mean, maybe I'd hate you, but not for that. But that is much, much lower than I would ever expect. That is
yeah, that's probably the lowest score I've ever given anything in my entire life. So.
Of all the terrible twos.
Yeah.
That was a terrible 2. That was a terrible 2. Okay, Krystle, scale of 1 to 10, just based on the first episode.
The first time I watched it or the third time I watched it?
All 3 combined, your final answer of what you give the first episode.
So after really thinking about it, I would probably give this maybe a 4.5 to 5, just based on episode 1 alone. This is not based on the other episodes that I watched.
We're only rating the first episode.
The first episode, I would give it a 4-ish, 4 or 5.
Okay. Okay, let's see. What would I give this entire series?
That's the question.
The entire series?
No, I'm just kidding. Just the first episode. I'd give it a 6. It was still easy for me to watch. I wasn't offended by anything. Oh, you're right. 2, 4, 6.
2, 4, 6. Hate.
Okay. So yeah, 2, 4, 6. That's cool. Now the final of the 2 terrible twos is we've just watched the first so that you at home don't have to. But Michael, Krystle, and myself, would we watch the second of our own volition? Michael, you watched the first episode for the purpose of this podcast.
Correct.
Of your own volition, now that you don't have to review it. I'm scared to ask. Would you watch the second?
I would not, and I would not suggest anybody else do either. Sorry, Krystle.
No, you're totally fine. And honestly, if I was not reviewing it for this show, I would have never watched this series in the first place. But I will say that I have watched the second episode, so yes, I definitely will. And I'm going to watch all 8 just because I really want to find out what they do with all the people that they are shrinking and putting in the wall. What the hell?
Spoilers!
They did it in the first episode!
Oh yeah, that's right. So I would watch the second. I'm not sure if I would watch the second as much off of the merits of the first, or if I would watch the second based on the fact that Rick and Morty is very smart, sophisticated, right? It's actually very sophisticated writing. Rick and Morty is. It's really good.
The other half is garbage.
It's good. It's very smart, sophisticated writing. Rick and Morty is, whether we like it or not, and I do like it. So
I like
I would watch the second, yes.
Yeah,
I would
good.
watch the second.
Here's my question for Krystle, though. Did you watch the second after watching the first episode 3 times? Or did you watch
So I watched the first episode and I was like, what the hell did I just watch? This is garbage. I am not a fan. And honestly, if I had not watched the other episodes, it's hard for me to give like what episode 1 would truly get, because I might have given it a 2. Because I called my friends and I was like, this is a garbage show. Like, why the hell is this even happening? Like, why is this a thing? But then I did a lot of research on it. And again, solely because of Rick and Morty, being like, I really truly liked Rick and Morty. Multiple watches for Rick and Morty. Now, I wish I was intoxicated watching this show. I feel like I would like it a lot more and be way more forgiving at all the cringe moments, because I will say that this show, especially episode 1, for me personally, had a lot of cringe moments. Episode 2 is actually even worse. But I will say that I kept watching. I think I'm on episode 6 now, and it does get better. I think it is finding itself. I really wish they had done a 12 series, 12 episodes instead of 8 episodes, because I feel like this show is just kind of finding its ground in like episode 6. I like fast forward through a lot of episode 3.
So what you're saying is the order in which you watched them was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 1.
1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was just because
it's like hopscotch.
Well, kind of, because after that I was like, well, shoot, what happened in episode 1? I'm gonna get on the podcast and talk about all this other stuff. But I had to watch more, because I feel like watching the first episode for a show, I can give an honest, straight review. But because this show is tied to Rick and Morty, even though it's not, it is. It has nothing to do with Rick and Morty, but they're the same creators, and it's very, very similar situations, to be quite honest. Different, but very similar. I really wanted to just kind of learn a little bit more before I just didn't like it. And to be quite honest, learning more did make me like the show just a little bit more. I really started to understand their purpose, the show's purpose, about really not liking or really poking fun of humanity in a very crass kind of way.
Can you actually drink this stuff?
But yeah, it might be a little too gory for me. It's very, very, very gory, and for me that's a huge turnoff. The cussing is another big turnoff. So I don't know. Like, I'm gonna watch the first season, and if I still feel this way after episode 8, I'm probably never gonna watch the season ever again.
Boy, oh boy, that is
I'm
heart-wrenching.
sorry! And it sucks because I'm a huge Rick and Morty fan. And
we're not. I don't think we're offended by that. It's okay if you watch
an
entire.
So.
Yeah, if you watch an entire season and then never watch it again, I think that's fine. I think that's what we do with just about everything.
That's more of a fair shake than I'm going to give it. So.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Yeah, I mean, I'll watch the second. We'll see how it goes. But always remember to like, subscribe, comment in the comments below. Hit that bell icon. Gloob, what is that thing? Gloob, Google the bell icon. Also, just to close out, this podcast was compared to Rick and Morty very often.
This podcast was a bucket of fun buckets.
Okay.
This podcast is longer than the actual episode.
Right? Like 3 times or 4 times as long.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks very much, everybody. Remember to let us know in the comments below what you want us to talk about for 3 times as long as the actual show. Check out Krystle's stuff in the description box below. And, smash that bell icon. Do the things that you do. And we watched the first episode so that you don't have to. Celebrating 20 years of Fallingtower, by the way. Did you know that, Krystle? 20 years of Fallingtower.
No, that's crazy.
That's what we're doing right now. It's That's why we have our party hats on.
Oh, wubble up down!
We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
So long.